It's time for another edition of the Summerslam Blunt Ratings, hosted by yours truly, Mr. HD.
Attention, Wild Nation!
Hey. Wild Nation, what it do, what it do? Hope everybody's having a good afternoon. Linux, don't pull on the headphone cable, son. I needs that. I got my tag team partner. This little rascal right here in the building. He's gonna help me do the blunt ratings for SummerSlam 2022. Sorry, I'm late. I had to go pick up my little guy, and he's been keeping me a little bit busy. So we a little bit late, but we are here, and we gonna talk about this show. The show was so epic, I had to make sure that I came and did an episode of the blunt ratings. That's how epic this year's show was. Now, were the matches as epic as the show overall? We will discuss that and more. You want to get down? All right. Just don't play with the cable, okay? No. Thank you. We'll discuss all that and more. You guys know how this works. It's not like the Monday Night Raw, the weekly show blunt ratings. We don't do commentary and all those things, even though we'll talk about them. We will give a blunt rating for every match. As you can see, there was 8. It was supposed to be 9, but 1 got canceled last minute. We will give a blunt rating to every match that happened. I got to get back to my little man. He's so adorable. I got to get back to him and give him all his little attention. So we're going to be in here for a good 30 minutes. Then we're going to get up out of here. Wow Nation. It's good to see you guys. KGM Gruss, what's going on, guys? You already know what it is, man. Locked and loaded. We in here. Let's get to these blunts ratings. What we gonna start with, son? What match you want to start with? Let's start with the match at the top. You want to start with the match at the top? Let's start with Miz versus Logan Paul. Two guys that you want to be nothing like, son. Actually, they're really successful. I wouldn't mind if you were like just not personality wise. But yeah, let's start with Miz and Logan Paul, man. Not sure what everybody thought about this match. This is one of my favorite matches of the night. But only one half of the match was good, right? Like Miz was just there. He was like a crash test dummy for Logan Paul in his showcase match, which pretty much is what this was. This was a Logan Paul showcase match. This was a match for Logan Paul to show that he is fully prepared to be a WWE superstar, if that is the next step for him after pro wrestling. Or after boxing, I should say, celebrity boxing. But yeah, I think that he had a great showing. Okay, buddy, here you go. Here you go. Okay, I got you. He wants some banana. Sorry, guys. So yeah, so I thought that this was definitely a showcase match for Logan Paul, and the man came through and he showed and he proved that he is fully capable of handling himself in the ring. Obviously, he's in there with one of the safest workers in the business in general, in the Miz, and they did their thing, man. Logan Paul, he did a figure 4 leg lock at one point that looked smooth. I mean, he was selling it. All the sells he did for Miz. No. Oh my God. No. Yeah. I said, why am I telling you guys no? Yeah. All the selling he did for Miz, he looked great doing it. I just thought he did a really phenomenal job. Plus, as I said on the watch party, you guys were there for sure. Like I said, like he looks like an athlete. The guy's like 6'3", 6'4", something. He's tall as hell, ripped. Like he looks like a professional wrestler. So he fits the mold, and he obviously has the aptitude to be able to handle himself in a professional wrestling ring. Son, no, give me that. This is why I should have just waited to be like an hour late. Because I should have put him to bed. But we already live, so we gonna get through it. Sorry, bear with me, guys. I got a 1-year-old over here who's a little rambunctious at the moment. But we gonna get through it. But yeah, Logan Paul killed it. Now the match overall was a decent match. Like I said, I feel like Miz was just there. What did I give this match? I gave this match 3.75. That's actually one of the highest ratings I gave any match. So yeah, well deserved because Logan Paul killed it last night. I'm looking forward to see what he does next. Hopefully he can get away from the Miz. They can do something else. I think we're actually going to do a tag team match because after the match, during the match, AJ Styles came out. Tommaso Ciampa got involved. So we might be setting up a tag team match. Maybe at the UK show, or maybe when they come back here and do whatever pay-per-view is next in the US. So we'll see what happens with that. But I gave that match a 3.75 blunt rating. Next up, we'll talk about Becky Lynch and Bianca Bel-Air. This match was one of the best matches on the show as well. Fire match started off hot from the beginning. Everybody was kind of waiting for, when the match started, everybody kind of was waiting for, it to be like, is it going to be a 26-second revenge match or something? I think we mentioned that a couple times. It wasn't. They kind of did a stare down for 30 seconds just to make sure everybody knew that's what was going to happen. Like, we just stand here and look at each other for 30 seconds just so y'all know it's not going down like that. So I'm actually happy because they had a great match. They brawled all over the place. Bianca hit one of the illest, most vicious KODs that she ever hit. You know what I mean? And Becky turned babyface after the match because the biggest moment of the night, in my opinion, as far as the future is concerned, the biggest moment of the night was when after the match, the lady shook hands or whatever, and they looked like they were gonna, do something or whatever was gonna happen. I guess they're gonna be friends now, Bianca and Becky. And then Bailey's music hit. And you heard it was like, oh, shit, that's Bailey. She came out in the crispy white looking like Lady Jesus. And, yeah, it was fire, man. Like, and then, that would have been perfectly fine if it was just Bailey. And it was like, oh, snap, Bailey's back. But then I popped so hard for this, I lost my shit. Like, I was over here acting like a teenager on the live stream. But Dakota Kai came out. Okay, son. Yes, that's Daddy's camera lens. The box is empty, thank God. But yeah, so Dakota Kai came out looking like a sexy Elvira, you know what I mean, with the pink and white stripe in her hair, like, looking like she ready to kick somebody in the face, you know what I mean, because that's what she do. And then, right after that, Io Sky, the former Io Shirai, who's now Io Sky. For what reason? I don't know. The name isn't bad. I don't care. At least they ain't give her nothing stupid. But yeah, I was just so hyped for this moment just because I was hyped for the same reason. It's like, all right, I like Dakota Kai and Io Shirai too, and I'm happy it was those two that got brought over. But it's just like, the general sentiment that things are changing is what I was so excited about, because you heard people saying, nothing's really going to change. Vince is still running things from behind. This show, if anything, ladies and gentlemen, this show showed that Vince McMahon ain't running shit. Because if he was running shit, they wouldn't have been, they was literally telling us Vince McMahon ain't in control anymore. We'll talk about that in a minute. But like, the commentary on the night was just letting us know, like, yeah, Vince isn't in control. Like, this is Triple H's show. That old motherfucker ain't in my ear anymore. But yeah, so, dang it, I'm cursing. I forgot he was here. See, I'm doing the show. Yeah, earmuffs, son, earmuffs. So yeah, I gave this match a 3.5. I thought the match was really good. Not their best match that they've had, even though it had some of the best moments that they've had in their matches overall. But I think they've had a couple great matches. This one was really good, and I enjoyed it tremendously. So I gave him 3.5 blunts. Let's move on to the next match, though. We'll talk about the Mysterios versus Judgment Day. I don't really want to talk about this match because nothing happened. Dom Mysterio is not over with me right now. Becky, wait a minute. Hold on, Gruss, wait a minute. Becky and Bel-Air is a 5.0 perfect score. Y'all are high. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all smoking good? Y'all smoking good. That match was not a 5.0. Like, it was, come on, man. It's 3.5 is fair. I figured, like, maybe a 4, but it was, I'm going to go with 3.5. I feel good about 3.5. maybe 3.75, just so it's just as good as The Miz and Logan Paul, because I feel like it was, but I don't think there was the surprise factor of seeing Logan Paul wrestle like he was, a 10-year veteran. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with 3.5 on that. I can't break my scale, man. I don't want to break my scale. So the Mysterios versus Judgment Day. I'm gonna just go. I gave this match 2.25 blunts. Who cares? Like, honestly, I don't care. At this point, I wanted Dom to turn on Mysterio on Ray just so I could not have to watch these matches or the Judgment Day. I really don't care about the Judgment Day at all. Like, I'm sorry. And it like Edge came out. I guess he was supposed to be at Raw last week, but he didn't make it. So, instead of being at Raw, he came to SummerSlam, but there was already too much going on, in my opinion, at SummerSlam. So, him coming out, even though he looked cool, it just didn't do anything because he came out like with the same similar dark, like broody entrance as the Judgment Day. It's like, so you're keeping the same entrance. It's like their entrance is actually cooler now, Edge. Like, you don't, maybe he doesn't notice. Like, they got the wing background and the cool music and the purple lights. Like, their entrance is actually cooler now. So, hold on one second. I got my headphone cord on your face. There you go. So, I don't know. He came down. He did spear all of them in half, though. He literally speared through them. Those were some great spears. And shout out to Kevin Dunn if he is still in charge for not missing them this time around like he did when Edge re-debuted after 7 long years away. He didn't screw it up this time, thank goodness. Caught both of those on camera. But the match itself was a 2.25. The moment after was cool, but it wasn't. Hold on, son. Can't play with the mouse while I'm live streaming. Whew. Hopefully you didn't. We still live, right? All right, we good. So, all right, you just asked to get up here. Why do you want to get down? Here. I know you just want to mess with stuff. So yeah, ain't nothing too much to talk about when it comes to that match. Let's get to the fourth match we'll talk about is Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan. This match was nothing. It lasted about 3 minutes. But I really like the finish because I said it before, I was like, Ronda Rousey should win. Like, in real life, she would kill Liv Morgan. She would eat Liv Morgan alive, like, in 3 seconds. It would be, she would get a hold of her arm and literally snap it off and then say some mean things to her. So it's not believable for Liv to beat her in a one-on-one match straight up without any shenanigans. And we got shenanigans because Ronda Rousey tapped Liv Morgan out. But while she was doing it, she had her shoulders down, so the ref wasn't paying attention to Liv tapping out and counted Ronda down for the 3. Ronda was pissed after the match, so she, rightfully so, got up and beat up Liv Morgan and beat up the ref because they both got over on her. So she got her payback, you know what I mean? But yeah, Daddy's here. Daddy's doing the show. Yeah. Yeah, so, I really enjoyed this match. This match was fun. I gave the match 2.5 blunts, though. As far as the match itself, the finish, like I said, was good, but the match was nothing. But they did get the right winner, and they got the right outcome as far as what happened, what went down. Said Ronda went full Ken Shamrock. She did. She does kind of have that Ken Shamrock vibe, like the person who can't cut promos, but is just the psycho crazy person who's good at wrestling. You know what I mean? That's kind of her. And it's not even like Ken Shamrock was great at wrestling. He was just an MMA fighter. He just had his style was like unique. It wasn't a lot of Ken Shamrocks. Now there's MMA guys all over pro wrestling. Hey, buddy, you gonna take all the boxes out? Yeah, Daddy got to clean up. So yeah, I gave that match 2.5 blunts. Decent match. It wouldn't take you long to go watch it because it didn't last long. Now let's move on to a match that did last a lot longer and was a lot more fun. Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. There was almost a certain death that happened during this match when McAfee got up on the top rope and was trying to do a swanton. At least that's what I hope he wanted to do. Maybe he had something else planned, but he just went for the only thing that was going to happen. I don't even think he could have properly done a dive, like a splash. Like, he had to, tumble over because he was about to do that anyway. So, this match was probably not match of the night. It wasn't match of the night, but it was one of my favorite matches just because Corbin is such a good heel. And, he got some offense in. He definitely got a little offense in. But for the most part, Mcafee just beat McAfee kicked his ass. Like, for real, McAfee got all his offense in, was doing all kind of moves, hit him with a Canadian destroyer at one time. It was a little setup, like you could tell. I even called it. I was like, oh, he's about to do a Canadian destroyer. You could just tell by the way he was setting up. But it was a McAfee match. Like, he did what he was supposed to do. He's a commentator who can wrestle really good, and he showed us once again. And he actually got the win, which was kind of a surprise. Like, he actually got the dub. I gave this match. What did I give this match? 3.5 blunts. Yep. So 3.5 blunts for this match. I thought that's right on the money for this match. It's very sports entertainment heavy match. But there was some good wrestling in it too, because Corbin's moveset is fire. You know what I mean? Corbin's moveset for a 7-foot tall dude is fire. Or 6'8", 6'9", however tall he is. And what's up, buddy? Banana? Okay, there you go. So, I was able to enjoy this match, man. I'm just really happy that McAfee didn't botch that move and hurt himself, because that would have sucked. He actually noticed it when he was climbing up there, though. He actually looked at the ropes and wiped them off. I guess it was a lot of moisture in there. He could tell that the ring ropes were wet. So, he tried to wipe them off, but, sometimes you move the sweat around and it just makes it worse if you don't get it all off. So, shout out to that guy for doing that. Guy's a multi-millionaire. And they mentioned that on the show. Like, he doesn't need pro wrestling at all. Like, he does it because he loves it. You know what I mean? They didn't say that on the show, but he definitely does it because he loves it. He grew up watching it and always wanted to be a professional wrestler. He said he was meant to do it, and it looks like he was, because it's only like his third match, and he's done really good. No, son, you can't raise daddy's desk while I'm doing the podcast. He just pushes buttons when he sees them. So moving on to the next match, we got the Usos versus the Street Profits, another match that underwhelmed for the most part. Like, they've had better matches. Like, we've seen them a lot. We've seen these guys wrestle a lot. But this match was kind of underwhelming. It was good, but it just wasn't as good as previous matches. Like, Jeff Jarrett kind of was just there. Like, he didn't really do anything per se. Like, he got, involved a little bit. Like, he stopped. I don't know if he didn't really stop no cheating. I don't even know what he did. Like, he didn't really make no impact for real. So, I don't know. This match was all right. I gave it, 3.25 blunts because the guys are really athletic. Angelo Dawkins, once again, proving that he shouldn't be playing second fiddle to anybody. He's definitely a great athlete and, a good sports entertainer in his own right. Still got to give Montez his props. He's he's a future world champion without a shadow of a doubt. But Dawkins is, maybe a mid-card champion in the future, maybe a world champion. I don't know. I don't want to slight him, but the Usos did pick up the win. It was the right team to win the match, because we didn't, you don't want to take the belts off the bloodline, especially before Roman's match. You got to keep the belts on the Usos just to keep the main event what it's supposed to be. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Good match. We saw a crazy Montez frog splash that got kicked out of and all that different stuff. So it wasn't that bad. 3.0 for the Usos versus Profits. Yeah, I mean, 3.0 wouldn't have been terrible. I'd give them 3.5, 3.25, though. I think they all did a decent job. Said I'm taking points off the Street Profits for wearing Titans. Touche, brother. Touche. Our next match that we'll talk about was for the United States Championship, and this was Bobby Lashley versus Theory. I gave this match 2.5 blunts because it was nothing. This was the Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey of the men's division last night. The match lasted 5 minutes. It was nothing, but it had a great finish. Once again, just like Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey, the finish was intriguing, and we've seen the Ronda Rousey finish before, but the Lashley finish, I don't think I've seen him finish anyone like that, because Theory Theory does this rolling drop kick where he rolls on the ground and jumps up and does a double leg drop kick. And Lashley caught him off the roll and just picked him up all in one motion and then just dropped him into the hurt lock. It was so smooth and it was like, oh, well, I came out of nowhere. And Theory, the story I guess they're telling is that he wanted to save himself for a possible cash in. Yeah, you're okay. He wanted to save himself for a possible cash in later in the day, later in the night. So he tapped out quickly to let Bobby retain his title, his United States Championship. So it was a thing. It happened fast, so it wasn't like it was something that took up a bunch of time and to where you would be upset. And the finish was so cool. It was like, all right, and the right person won, so it was like, all right. So, everything happened that you wanted to happen. It was just that it was short and it didn't feel like anything really mattered in the grand scale. But we got this feud out the way. Hopefully it's done and we can move on. He literally just asked me to pick him up and now he's trying to get to me. Son, you are entertaining. What's going on, Dave? What's cracking, bro? Good to see you in here, man. Yeah, man, hope everybody enjoyed the show last night. I had a blast. Now let's talk about this main event, man. Let's talk about this main event. Sorry about the kiddo. It's all gone, buddy. It's all gone. No more. We'll get more in a minute, okay? We'll get more in a minute. Yeah, I'll get you some more. No, that's all gone. So let's talk about this main event so I can get up out of here. But this main event was crazy. Obviously, Roman Reigns took 20 minutes to come down to the ring. That's what he does. You know what I mean? Shout out to the tribal chief. He is my tribal chief, so I will not complain about that at all. Yeah, so he came down to the ring, and then Brock came out, but he just came out, regular Brock entrance, and then he kind of turned around, and then he looked at a big red wagon. Actually, it wasn't a wagon. It was a what do you call those? It's not a semi truck, but a construction truck. Yeah, he drove it down by the ring, and it was in essence of the Stone Cold Zamboni machine and the Kurt Angle milk truck and all those different things. So it's in the essence of that. Son, I just picked you up and you wanted me to put you down. So no, I'm not falling for that again. So I'm not tripping. What am I tripping off of? Oh, the Becky Lynch match. Nah, man. I mean, was it a tractor? I guess you can't call it a tractor. Tractors have those things on the front, yeah, because they put bales of hay on them and stuff. So yeah, and Brock, I'm sure, has about 17 of those. You know what I mean? Since he is a farm boy, clearly. So that was part of the whole story. He had his tractor there, and he drove it down by the ring. I said early on, I was like, the only thing he could really do with that, outside of kill somebody on accident, is lift the ring up. It looked like that's what it was, because that's what those things are meant to do, lift and drop stuff. So, I was looking forward to the possibility of that, but I wasn't sure if that would actually happen. Okay, son. Okay, you win. Don't try to get down. But yeah, but this match was the regular Brock Lesnar and okay, buddy. Okay. Say hi to the guys. Say hey, guys. Say hey. I want some attention. There you go. Look, everybody sees you now. Little superstar. So we gonna watch this match again because it was fun. I want you to see it. So Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns were kind of just doing a Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns match, except for there was tables involved, and they were smashing each other through tables pretty aggressively. Roman and Brock were taking crazy bumps to the point they were both bruised and cut up just from going through tables. Brock was like savagely dumping Roman Reigns on tables like that weren't meant to be dumped on. Like the tables were already broken, but they were still kind of up. Like one was like, it's like slanted, but the legs are still up, but the table's already broken in half, and he slammed him on it. And you see Roman's head like ricochet off the table just because the bar was right under where Roman's head hit, because he's not falling in the middle of the table. He's falling on the edge of the table. The reason that they cut the board is so people don't hit the edge of the table. So Brock didn't care though. Brock was like, "You getting slammed on whatever table I see fit." And that's kind of how it went. Uh-oh. Son. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. All right. No. He's being really extra right now. Sorry, guys. Um, my apologies. I should have just waited to come on later, but we're almost done. Sorry, guys. Um, but yeah, so the match was crazy. It was reaching its crescendo. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. All right. Let's finish this off. So, where was I? Oh yeah. Yeah, he was trying to cut a promo. He was he was he was like, "Yo, I haven't even seen the match. Why are you spoiling it for me? You said we was going to watch it. Now you telling me what's happening." So, you know, these guys were having the standard match, throwing each other through barricades, throwing each other through tables or whatever. But then Brock Lesnar had the upper hand. He went and got the tractor, as y'all call it, whatever you want to call that thing. He went and got the tractor, and he kind of like he threw Roman inside the little part that lifts people and dumps the stuff, and then he kind of lifted it up and then just kind of dropped Roman. And I was like, they didn't bring that all the way out here to do that. That can't be the that can't be why they I was like, that ain't it, Chief. But then we was doing the live stream and Brock stood on the joint and he stood up there and was kind of taunting Roman. And I was like, okay, it was worth it bringing it out there for that shot. That's kind of an epic shot right there. Those pictures will live forever in Brock Lesnar's career. And cool. Yeah, I mean, all right, we got him standing on the tractor. But then things escalated very, very quickly because Brock got back in the tractor, proceeded to back it up, and then decided he was just going to destroy everything. So he lifted the ring up and, yeah, just tipped everything over, like literally lifted it up like 10 feet in the air on that damn machine and said, yeah, this match is over. At least that's what we thought, but it wasn't because the match went on for like another 5-10 minutes because Brock Lesnar is a mutant, and everybody got involved at this point. The Usos, Paul Heyman was trying to interfere and distract him. It was crazy when it comes to all the interference, and Brock basically had everything going against him as the baby face of the match. The Usos came out, was super kicking him, but he was destroying them, suplexing them all over the place. So it was a great match. Even after that point, after Brock had destroyed the ring, it even escalated even more, in my opinion, because it got better. I saw some people like they should have just ended it after he lifted the ring. The match was just it didn't need to be. I was like, nah, man. They made Brock Lesnar look like. How many times did we pop on the live stream every time he got up? It was like, oh my God, he's getting up again. This is crazy. This is so epic. Like you knew that it was leading to him not being able to get up because they just kept, sparing him and hitting him with the belt. You could hear the belt cracking off his skull. So it was like I said, he was like one of those super villains or monsters in a movie that are really hard to kill because they're a monster. So it's like, they made Brock look like a monster babyface. So I love this match. I love everything about this match. This was, to me, their best match in their feud. You know what I mean? And I know it's maybe I'm prisoner of the moment, but I feel like this was the best match of their feud. Maybe the second best match. It didn't. I feel like this score might be a little low. I gave it. That's the wrong button. I gave it 4 blunts. I feel like it wasn't like a classic wrestling match, but it had a historic moment that I'll remember forever. Literally forever. I'll never forget that. You know what I mean? So, um, we'll see what happens. But the overall show score was ironically 316. I didn't do that on purpose, and I'm not changing any of the match scores because that came out to 316. So, You're not going to get me to change any of the match scores. That was destiny. It's 316. SummerSlam 316 says, I just did the blunt ratings. That's what it says. Oh, man. Liv and Ronda should be hired for the heel turn. Nah, I'm rating the matches, man. That's not, we don't do storytelling and all that during the pay-per-view blunt ratings. That's what I'm saying. Y'all got to think about just the match from bell to bell. We're not talking about the angles. You know what I mean? See, y'all want to include everything. That's why y'all like Becky and Bianca. Give it a 10. No. The match itself was cool. They did some cool stuff. The KOD she hit was nice. But they've had bangers already. So it's like, the match itself, bell to bell, is kind of what I was going off of because we stay away from doing storytelling and commentary and the crowd and all those things when we do the pay-per-view blunt ratings. Even though maybe I'll add those in at some point, but it's already enough matches. So 316 for the blunt ratings. I got to get to my boy, man. He's in there screaming. So I appreciate you guys watching, man. Wanted to hop on. Gonna get used to doing the blunt ratings for at least the pay-per-views until we can bring them back for the weekly shows. But hell, if the weekly shows are gonna be anything like, SummerSlam was, then you'll see our faces a lot more often. Yeah, Becky and Bel-Air started with a handshake, ended with a handshake. Yeah, I saw somebody else say that earlier on a show. So, it was a good show, man. Everybody enjoyed themselves. That was the most important part. I think a 316 blunt rating was actually pretty accurate. It was a really fun show. The wrestling, though, and the matches were right down the middle. It started off really good with a couple really good matches. The first hour was perfect. The Becky, Bianca, and Miz and Logan Paul was perfect, and then it kind of fell off after that. You know what I mean? And then it got good again at the end. Pat McAfee was a high point, and then Roman Reigns and Brock capped it off. But everything else was kind of just throwaway stuff that we could have seen on Raw. Like, I could have seen Edge return on Monday. Like, I ain't need that. So, it was what it was, man. But I'm going to get up out of here. Appreciate you guys watching, as always. Until the next time, it's your boy, Mr. HD, with another episode of the Blunt Ratings. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, man. And if you got kids, you understand how hard this show was to do. So I appreciate you guys watching. Until the next time, deuces.